Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, welcome to another Sword of Convallaria. So the developers has just announced the new engraving system. Now this system has obviously been released over here on CN the Taiwanese servers. However, it is the first time the global servers are getting exposure into this new series. Now I'm gonna go over the entire system so you know what it's like when it was first released over on the CN side and have a better understanding of how this works, because it is basically the end game stuff. However, not to say that you cannot work towards some of the upgrades in the early to mid game, and in fact this is what today's guide will be about. Building some of these combos and how to utilize engravings better from the early game point of view will definitely get you set up in order to farm these higher difficulty game modes. So without further ado, let's get things started. Now the engraving system has been introduced on the official Twitter page. You can see that basically after you clear the Fool's Journey 8-5, this will be unlocked, and it's better for me to just use the in-game example from the CN the Taiwan side. So you can see this was their update when chapter 7 and chapter 8 opened, and for us it's going to be very soon when we get the chapter updates. And after you clear 8-5, you'll have this engraving interface. You can see it's the third tab on the weapons upgrade, and now you can equip the engraving onto a weapon, and you can now go ahead and yes, this is them showcasing that you do this after you do 8-5, and there's gonna be the engraving challenge stages. You can see here that you have to clear all the way until engraving 8 and above in order to get the drop. So this is the weapons. You can see the ores are getting dropped here, right? As soon as you clear I think this stage 9 at level 55 difficulty, you can now go and use the engraving system. So you can see that there are different levels. There's the bronze, the silver background, the gold background, and then the rainbow or the legendary background. And you can see that after you use the resource or the engraving stones, it will generate between 1 to 3 random substats. So yes, this game does have some random substats. And you can see for this weapon, boom, right here, you got 2 random substats, which is magic attack plus 6% and HP plus 40 flat. Okay, and the higher the value and the higher the quality of the stone, you can see here the rainbow, the legendary stones, the better your stats are gonna be, the random stats. So it's actually quite important, okay, and it will consume quite a bit of gold, but of course getting these engraving stones are going to be very difficult. It is an end game resource, but you know what, a lot of events will offer you that, so it's still somewhat of a steady income. You can see here the flying armband or arm guard now gets 8% physical attack from just using the stone, 6% HP. This is quite good once you're able to farm these. Now there are synergies between the stones. That's right, you can see that you can mix and match the different ones in order to get the synergies. And in the early game, okay, having the right stats and also getting the right synergy is difficult, because this means that you have to get the engraving part on your weapon and then have another engraving part on the trinket. So not always will you have the opportunity to get the best sets, but as we said in the official Twitter page, they have shown all of the sets here, and I'll go over some of the best sets for the characters. Now I'm gonna have character specific guides, just how like we had our skill choices as well as the weapons trinket choices. I'll open up a engravings choice right here, because later on you actually do want individualized engravings, but this is a beginning to early mid game guide where you're just able to start farming engravings, whether it be stages or from the events, to start building some of these combos that you definitely want to use. So right off the bat, you can see the first category a lot of people are going to use is the sword plus cup, and I do believe that even in the Reddit post, a lot of people have said right here, yeah, I get the feeling I'll be using the sword plus cup on all of your DPS. That is 100% correct, because if you take a look at the effect, the sword plus cup combo gives you, when actively attacking, increase the damage by 5% and grants 15% of lifesteal. So this 5% damage pump plus a 15% lifesteal is great for all of these damage dealers, range, melee, or even those bruiser type characters that just gets really strong as the fight goes on, because yes, you get a nice damage boost on top of that sustained ability even as a main damage dealer. Now looking at some of the other popular choices, you can see the second one is going to be sword plus staff, or as they call it, wand. Okay, and before actively attacking, for each 1 tile traversed, increase attack defense by 4% and up to 12, and the effect lasts till the start of next turn. So basically after you move, when you attack, you of course get that effect, and also it maintains that effect until you start the next turn. Okay, which is so strong on a character like Cole, because he's going to be jumping all around, moving a lot. So basically 12% max, and don't forget Cole likes to have his ramping up tower rolls such as Devil, right? So that also stacks attack and defense, plus he'll get lifesteal as well as part of his kit. So he just becomes really tanky in this combination, and he's going to zip around, kill people, and he's unkillable. His lifesteal as well as part of his innate kit, and yeah, he's just going to be super tanky and deal a lot of damage, and this is fantastic for bruisers that have a lot of great maneuver abilities as well. Now the third popular combination, you can see that when you don't have any damage taken, your attack and defense increases by 12%. So this is sword plus pentacle. And this is also a great one for range characters, because it's a 12% damage buff in comparison to the 5% when you're basically at full HP, and you trade off the 15% lifesteal, of course, and have a harsher trigger threshold. But this, for range characters and characters that are hiding in the back, it's fantastic. And now last but not least, the cup plus cup, 2 cups. Is fantastic for healers, and because it increases the healing amount by 10%, which is always nice, and also healing received effect also increases by 10%. That's fine. And for tanks, there's the staff plus pentacle, which is physical damage defense, physical damage reduction by 15%. But overall, the top 3 or maybe the top 4 are the ones going to be going for. And of course, this is a very end game thing, because as I've said, you'd be farming for the gear first, the right weapon, the right trinket, and then you'll be farming for the substats using the correct engraving. So in the first place, get these sets going first, especially a 15% lifesteal on all of these characters. Get the set going first, okay? That's the most important thing. And then substat, you can, you know, mix and match and farm for endgame substat selections, but get the set going first to at least trigger these effects, because it's basically a free damage amp of 12% and a free 5% here plus 15% lifesteal. So get that going, and endgame and game engravings, I'll work on it as well. So yes, this is kind of your early pairings, and hopefully you guys get very lucky, get the pairings you want as we unlock chapter 8, and of course with it the engraving system. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye now.